Okay, Michelle Malkin says tonight, left-leaning TV anchor Jim Lehrer of government-supported PBS will moderate the first 90-minute presidential debate in Denver. Lehrer alone will determine the topics and questions for 6 15-minute segments, and then he will control an open discussion. We all know the liberal media bias drill. Make the Republican candidate look like a scary extremist on social issues and a greedy capitalist pig on economic issues. Avoid the Democratic incumbent's record of failure. Run out the clock. Thank you and good night. Michelle Malkin. And the question that she would ask is, if the buck stops at the top, why does Attorney General Eric Holder still have a job after years of official DOJ obstruction and falsehoods during the Fast and Furious investigations? Oh, you mean those investigations where they did an investigation into the investigations and found that Darrell Issa was, like a dog chasing its tail? That there was no there that exonerated the Attorney General? That's going to be a tough one. Stephen in New York City. Hey, Stephen. You have questions.
Tom, how are you?
I am well.
I had two questions. My first question would be, would Romney be in favor of a 15% flat tax for all American workers? And the second question would be, would Obama be in favor of passing a constitutional amendment requiring all Americans to vote and making it a felony if anybody interfered with that ability?
Okay, that's really three. But first of all, do you think there should be a 15% flat tax on all Americans?
Romney does.
Well, no, Romney is suggesting, he's suggesting that there should still be a progressive income tax and that the lowest rate should still be zero.
The lowest rate? Well,
yeah.
The maximum...
I mean, there's a bunch of right-wingers who would love to have a flat tax, and they would love to have those people who make so little money that they basically can't even afford to pay for rent and food, to have them pay some percentage of their income as taxes, so as to reduce the burden on the billionaires. But I don't even think Romney is that crazy.
As offering a 15% flat tax rate?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that Romney, what he said is he wants to cut all the tax rates by 20%. He wants to top, and then he's going to close the loopholes. So you can no longer, presumably, you can no longer deduct, get a child deduction if you have kids. You can no longer deduct your home mortgage. You can no longer deduct medical expenses, things like that. And it'll make some money, I suppose. Although and thank you, Stephen, for the call, when you add up everything, it doesn't add up. I mean, Romney's numbers just don't work. And this is why Paul Ryan, people keep asking Paul Ryan, would you please explain the numbers? And he keeps saying, no, sorry, take too long. Oh, gee, we're in a town hall meeting. You have a half hour. No, it'll take too long. Just go to the website. You can see it. It's all there. Yeah. And then with regard to the national requirement to vote, I think there's actually something to that. In Australia, they do it. You're required to vote. I mean, you're not required to vote. It's just like in the United States, pretty soon you're going to be required to have health insurance. You cannot have health insurance and pay a $700 a year tax. That's the tax part that the Supreme Court identified as a tax. John Roberts used that little device to be able to say, oh, yeah, this artifice, this. And so, you could choose not to have health care, or health insurance, rather, but you got to pay the $700 tax. So in Australia, you can choose not to vote, but you have to pay this tax, or this fee. I'm not sure that's such a bad idea here in the United States. So, anyhow, question for Romney from John in Sycamore, West Virginia. Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, Tom, how you doing? I'd like to ask Mr. Romney if... on 60 Minutes, he was talking, and he said that it's okay to pay, 14% on capital gains tax because it was already taxed once. But Bain is a partnership; it's not a corporate, and it's not taxed there. It's taxed by the partner. Each partner has their own tax.
That's interesting.
Things to go, because I was in a partnership, and that's how that works. So it's not taxed twice. See, he's lying when he says that.
Huh.
And secondly, I'd like to. I'm so tired of our media. They don't speak for us, and it's frustrating. So frustrating. We don't have no voice at all, except for social media. But on TV, it's like they speak for us, but they're not speaking our language.
Yeah.
It's. I'm just tired of it. I mean, we have no outlet. I'd like to have a debate where we can ask questions.
Well, that's I'm guessing I could be wrong, but we've seen this in the past where they've tried to bring in questions from Twitter or from YouTube or things like that. And I'm guessing that when this gets to the network stuff, in the second and third debate, probably there'll be something like that. But then it still goes through the filter. And thanks for the call, John. Good point. It still goes through the filter of the media deciding what they're going to put up and what they don't. Here's Mitt Romney on the capital gains tax.
You made on your investments personally about $20 million last year, and you paid 14% in federal taxes. That's the capital gains rate. Is that fair to the guy who makes $50,000 and paid a higher rate than you did?
It is a low rate, and one of the reasons why the capital gains tax rate is lower is because capital has already been taxed once at the corporate level.
Oh, that's interesting. So he doesn't speak of himself, and he doesn't speak of Bain. He speaks in the abstract. Very, very, very interesting. Carla in Miami, Florida. Hey, Carla, you have a question for Mitt Romney?
Yes, I do. I wanted to find out his position on the Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People that Obama supported and endorsed in December of 2010. I wanted to know if he would reverse that, or do you think that he would be in support of this declaration, and how that would affect his foreign policy later?
Well, that's an interesting question. I'm guessing that because that would expand the number of human beings outside of billionaires who get some kind of special protection from government, he would be opposed to it because most indigenous people are not really rich. But, who knows? That's a very good question. Carla, thank you very much for calling and asking that. Marilyn in Oakland, California, you have a question?
Well, I do, and I've been thinking about this. This is, first of all, my burning issue is voting trustworthiness. Mm-hmm. And there is a different petition now to the one that I called you about before. It's Stop Computerized Voting on signon.org. Mm-hmm. Has no reference to any national ID, anything but getting our votes off computers. Now, here would be my question to the candidates. How can you allow our election software to be held in the hands of private companies who keep it secret from the people who are using it?
That's an excellent question. I would put that at the top of my list. Thank you very much, Marilyn, for calling and asking that. I think that's a great one. Corky in Rochester, New York. You have a question?
Yeah, I'd like to ask him a question tonight. First thing I do is get him on stage and say, okay, you're so worried about the debt and the deficit. How about a transactions tax on Wall Street on the gambling, the credit default swaps, and the...
Right, a 1/10 of 1% or 1/4 of 1% tax on every transaction that happens on Wall Street, which would put out of business the machine traders, the robot traders, the robotic traders, the computerized traders, who aren't even traders. I mean, there's not a human being involved. There's literally a robot making 1 million transactions a minute, and it represents 70% of the total activity on the New York Stock Exchange right now, and it's just a scam. It's just a way of skimming money off the top, out of the stock market, out of your 401k, and into the pockets of a few Wall Street billionaires who own the machines. I'm with you, Jerry. That's a good one. Thank you very much for the call and for making that. Rich in Oneida, Tennessee. Hey, Rich, you got a question?
Oh, actually, I was just wanting to tell you something that I've experienced here lately with a debate situation. I'm running in the 3rd District here in Tennessee for the United States House of Representatives. Mm-hmm. And we're having a debate with Chuck Flashman and the Democratic candidate, Mary Hedrick. Mm-hmm. And I called the organizer and tried to get into the debate, and I was told I could be part of the debate. I didn't think it would actually come true. The next day I got her email saying that I wouldn't be able to be in the debate because that I had to first verify, she had to first verify that I was certified with the state and verify statements I'd made about candidates while I was talking to her, which were statements that are part of the congressional record for...
Right. Rich, what's the point?
The point is that I was put out of the debate for, no reason at all.
Right. Well, this is a serious problem. I'm with you totally. This is a serious problem. One of the main things that we could be doing and should be doing tonight is opening up our debates. I mean, I would like to see Gary Johnson and Jill Stein in that debate, and Virgil Goode. I mean, the other three candidates. You got two right-wingers, right? Gary Johnson, Libertarian Party, Virgil Goode, the Constitutional Party, and you got Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein with the Green Party. They should be on the platform along with President Obama and Mitt Romney and Governor Romney. It's just in my mind, common sense. In fact, I think that the debate of '92 was the last really, feisty presidential debate we had, because you had not only was Bill Clinton there and George Herbert Walker Bush, but you had that crazy old coat with the graphs and the charts and all that kind of stuff, and and he took like what percentage of the vote? 15. I think it was 18 or 19% of the vote. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we'll be back. 45 minutes past the hour. Thom Hartmann here with you. Your questions for the presidential candidates right after this.